let's talk about your marketing strategy. We already discussed your content strategy, but what about your marketing strategy? So I'll actually tell you, if you do this, you'll be doing something that 99 out of 100 creators don't do. And this is what's going to set you apart from them. More than anything else, this is what's going to set you apart from them. Because I'll tell you the age-old story of the podcaster. A podcaster goes through all of this effort. Oftentimes they miss a few steps because they're getting information from a bunch of different fragmented sources. And then they launch their podcast. And their podcast goes out into the wild. They even may do a little bit of the effort that's involved in taking their show and distributing it into certain platforms like Apple Podcasts manually. But then nothing happens. And they keep sitting back and they release episode after episode after episode and they see no change. The rise in listeners is incremental at best. It's extremely small and it's extremely painful because this has been a labor of love for them. And over time, what tends to happen is they go through a disease that we call pod fading, which is that soon the excitement that they've built up over so much time, begins to fade because there's nobody listening on the other side or very few people listening on the other side. And they stop making their podcast. Now, this is a travesty because it can so easily be solved. And it's solved by creating a marketing strategy. Like I said, 99 out of 100 creators don't do this. So if you do this, not only are you going to succeed with your podcast, but you're competing against very few people because very few people actually do this. So what we're going to do over the course of both this video and a couple of the others is we're going to talk about devising this marketing strategy. I just give you a little bit of the difference between what we call a podcast launch and what we call a market launch. A podcast launch is when your podcast is out in the wild and your podcast can already be picked up and organically be consumed. All right. A market launch, however, is when we actually tell the world about it, when we generate buzz about it, when we start to build up interest about our podcast. And that's the section that we're talking about, the market launch of your podcast. Which requires a strategy which even if you create right now, you may not even need to use it too much. And it may change over time, but the fact that you're thinking about it is extremely important. And that's what I want you guys to do. So the best way to do this is to think about it in 2 blocks. So the first thing that we want to do is take the trailer that we have and we actually want to tease the market with this trailer. So we want to tease the market with this trailer and get people to subscribe on the basis of this trailer. Why is essentially because asking somebody for 1 or 2 minutes of their time is not too much, right? So more often than not, if your first episode is a trailer, which it should be, and you are sending it to your friends, your family, different people around you, people that you love and respect, they will give you 2 minutes of their time. And if you got one request at the end of those 2 minutes, which is to subscribe to your podcast, they should more often than not do it, as opposed to sending them a 40-minute long or a 30-minute long first episode. You want to make sure that you're exciting them enough with that trailer that they actually want to subscribe. The benefit of making this happen is that post this point, each and every single one of them will receive updates across the application that they normally consume on about when your podcast has a new episode that drops. So we're trying to create this retention and we're trying to create this engagement from your first trailer itself. And the second thing that we're trying to do with your initial block is to build up a little bit of credibility. So think about this more from, when you go to any website and you see the testimonial section. Now, the people haven't actually entered into the website, but why a testimonial section exists in the first place is because it's a vote of confidence from people. And the better the people that are giving this vote of confidence, the more comforted you feel in taking this plunge. So that's something that we need to do. It's very intuitive, and I know what I'm telling you is something that you obviously already know and you've gone through a million different times. But with podcasters, people don't necessarily think about this. And then the second block is taking the people that we are essentially cultivating and getting together through the trainer and the people that have subscribed, plus the little bit of buzz that's been created, plus the testimonials that we're getting, and then we move towards a public market launch of your podcast, where we try to build up hype and we try to build up excitement for your show. There are a bunch of different ways to do this. And we touch upon a few of these, but that's basically the way that you should be thinking about this. So I hope that helps, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.